Without further ado, we bring in the co-host from Birds 365, my boy, who's killing it there on Birds 365, Big Z, Zander Krause. How you doing, brother?
What up, Big Sills?
How you
How
doing,
living,
Junior?
brother?
I'm doing, man.
I can
doing
tell,
a lot
man.
of
You're
news.
fired up.
Having a good time here. Look at this, man. Listen to this. So here we are on the calendar. We're 72 days from the first day of training camp. We're 77 away from the Hall of Fame game between the Chargers and the Lions. We're 111 away from the banner being dropped in Philadelphia Lincoln Financial. Where did the offseason go? Where'd the offseason go,
I'm
dude?
ready. I love it, though. I love it, man. I mean, you're right, though, man. I woke up, Sills, the same thing, and I did that this morning. I'm like, 111 days. Holy crap, man. We're moving quick, but, hey, it's a good thing. And you know what it is, Sills? It goes quicker when you're champions, man, because, you know, you're not champions every year. So we're champions this year. And I feel like, Sills, even you feel like a champion this year. You'll say, Jalen, this. You've covered this team now every day for 4 years, almost 5. You feel like a champion this offseason, Mr. Sileo.
Well, here. Okay, I look at it this way. That was really nice news on February 9th. It was great news. What a wonderful deal. But now we're in a whole different ballpark here because it's a whole different football team. You don't have the same football team. I mean, I have some questions, Zander, that I would like answered from you. So I wrote a couple of these notes down here. What is the role going to be for Dallas Goedert this year? Bigger? Less? More of the same, what we saw a year ago? How do you see them envisioning Dallas Goedert this year? Will he not be used? Will he just be a security blanket for old Jalen Hurts? I mean, how are you using how are you using Dallas Goedert this year?
Dallas Goedert's going to have a tremendous year this year because, Sills, I think they're going to pass more. I do. I think they're going to have to pass more this year, man. And, you know, Jalen does like Goedert when he throws to the middle of the field, he does. But he did like him in the playoffs. You know, he was a key target for them last year when they did take away the run game. I think Dallas Goedert's going to have a big year. Remember, there's other motives here for Dallas Goedert this year, you know, that are deeper than the team. There's personal motives where contracts into play and all sorts of different things. So I think Dallas Goedert is going to have a big year this year.
You know, I'm going to deviate off of some of this stuff here. What I'm going to get to here are some of my questions because I wrote down my Big Sills preseason playoff football teams in the AFC and in the NFC. Who would you like me to start with first, NFC or AFC?
Let's go NFC. Let's go where the real teams are.
Okay. Sitting at number 7, wild card, the Minnesota Vikings. From the NFC North will be the 7th seed in the NFC playoff race. Number 6, from the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers.
Are you about to have 3 NFC North teams?
From the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles at number 5. Number 4, the champions of the NFC West will be the Los Angeles Rams. Number 3, the champions of the NFC East, the Washington Commanders.
This is a joke list.
Number 2, the NFC South champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. By the
How
way,
good do you think the Bucs are going to be this year?
well, I think they got a really shitty schedule.
So you think they're going to have a better record than the Rams?
Yeah, they got an easier schedule than the Rams.
All right, I'll give you my 7. I can think of them off the top of my head.
Bro, this doesn't mean they're better teams. This just means you're playing shittier people. I mean, you see, what people do, they get fucked up over because the team's got a better record. That means you're a better team. That doesn't mean that. You play in the Big 12 like that. Well, how about this? I'll give it no one. You play in the NFC South versus playing in the NFC North. And a team
you sucking up to the Bucs?
No.
No. They just accused.
No, they just own you.
You have been accused, Big Sills.
Go ahead. I've never sucked up to any team in my. By the way, one thing people always know: teams I cover, I'm harder on. And the number 1 team in the NFC will be the Detroit Lions. So here are my 7: Lions 1, Bucks 2, Washington 3, Rams 4, Eagles 5, Green Bay 6, Minnesota 7.
Trash.
Where?
Trash.
Tell me where. Tell me what teams you would put in over Green Bay and Minnesota. Let me guess. Seattle, maybe? Arizona?
Number 7 is going to be the Dallas Cowboys. No, number 7 will be the Washington. No, Packers will be 7. Commanders will be 6. Cowboys will be 5. Bucks will be 4. Lions will be 3. Rams will be 2. And the Philadelphia Eagles will get the 1 seed again. Those will be your 4 division winners, the top 4. And then you got.
You didn't get it last year, the 1 seed, but okay, I got your point. You didn't win the top seed last year. Detroit did.
We're going to get it this year.
Oh, this year. Oh, okay, yeah. I got it. I know what you meant, kid. I just want to make. Think Chicago has a shot to get in there in that 7?
I don't know. I thought I did till I read that story about Caleb Williams. Dude's looking for every way out in the world. That organization's a mess. Did you hear Boomer Esiason today?
No.
Oh my God. He absolutely took that dude to the cleaners.
What did he say? Just paraphrase it.
Young man, you have a chance to make $500 million on your next contract in one of the greatest sports leagues to ever exist on planet Earth, and you got every excuse in the world. Somebody needs to teach you a lesson, young man. Go out there and work. Stop crying. Stop bitching about everything. It was great.
Don't you think that's the modern day guy that's coming out of college now because of what, look, everybody feels entitled now because of the amount of money you're making in college now, where kids can walk in here and kind of try to dictate their own avenue. I mean, then again, I didn't hear Boomer kicking the shit out of Eli Manning when he didn't want to play in San Diego and he wanted to play in New York. Just because you're friends with the Manning family, I love Boomer.
Yeah.
Had him on this, man. But I'm just saying, I didn't hear him shitting on Eli.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Here's my AFC. Number 7, the Denver Broncos from the AFC West. Number 6, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, AFC North.
They got to get back into the playoffs. I agree.
They got to be better than 6.
I don't think they're. I don't know who's in that division.
I know. I hear. I got the Chargers at 5.
You got them taking a big jump.
I got Houston at 4. Dude, I think Houston is a really great looking. I got to tell you something, Doug. That guy, Nick Caserio, not being in New England, it is an absolute fact. That Houston Texans defense doesn't have a weakness on it. I'm telling you, man, they're a good football team, man. I
guess you got the Chiefs winning the West again.
Barely over the Chargers.
Because they win it every year, so it's not a bad take, but I don't know how far back they're going to
come. I can see the Chargers taking them.
Yeah, I think it's a sleeper. It's a potential. It's a sleeper.
I got the Chiefs 3rd. I've got Baltimore 2, and I got the Bills 1. By the way, I heard John say today, he goes, Buffalo might be overrated. They may be overrated, but they're not more overrated than that AFC East.
No, they're not. The AFC East is terrible.
I
That was why John said that the Eagles are going to beat the Bills, because he was like, I think they're going to have that thing locked up early. The AFC East is a joke. I mean, unless Josh Allen gets hurt, there's nobody even has a chance in that thing.
But I'm going to tell you what happened and what's going to happen next week. And you tell me, this is one of the questions I was going to ask you. What do you make of this? So next week, it's not just about the tush push. So I want to show you this here. And this is going to determine a lot and why you're not going to have those week out endings like you do at the end of the year where the Eagles are sitting guys. Okay? You're not going to be able to do that any longer. Here's why. This is what's been proposed under the Lions, and I think they're going to approve this. The 7 teams in each conference would still consist of 4 division champions and 3 wild card teams. However, the big change is that teams would be seeded by who has the best record under this proposal. A wild card team, I'm reading from Rich McKay, could be seeded ahead of a division winner if the wild card team has a better record. This means that a wild card team would be seeded as high as 2 under the current format. The 4 division winners get the top 4 seeds, followed by the 3 wild cards. So here's what it would look like. Last year in the playoffs, Lions got the number 1 seed. They were 15-2. Eagles got the 2nd at 14-3. The Bucks were 3rd at 10-7.
Right. Rams
were 4th at 10-7. Vikings were 5th with a 14-3 record. The Commanders were 6th at 12-5. The Packers were 7th at 11-7. Here's what it would look like if this thing gets approved next week. The Lions would get the number 1 seed at 15-2. Eagles would still get the 2nd seed at 14-3. But then the Vikings would jump up from the 5th hole and go into the 3rd hole at 14-3. And the Commanders would go from the 6th to the 4th, which would mean this. The Lions would get the bye. The Eagles would play the Rams in the opener.
Is that the new playoff seeding? I don't know if I like that.
That's what they're proposing.
That's what they're proposing at the meeting next week?
Yes.
I don't think I like that. What do you think of that?
Man, that sounds like you're penalizing the good teams at the top.
Well, I think there's got to be something that gives you an advantage for winning your division.
Well, yeah, home game.
Let me read this new format because I followed you, but I don't know exactly what the format is.
Okay, again, they're gonna seat these teams by records instead of.
So they're going to do it by record and then still include the 4 division winners.
Yes, but the 4 division winners would fall underneath. Like again, last year, Lions, Eagles, Bucks, Rams. Those were the 4 division winners. Under the new proposal that the Lions put out that the owners really like, it would be Lions, Eagles, Vikings, Commanders would be the top 4. And the Buccaneers, remember, the Buccaneers and the Rams would be the bottom.
Right.
So you got division winners that would be taking on the Lions and the Eagles. How's that right when you got lesser teams taking on each other in the middle of the – I mean, the Vikings –
won't this disincentivize losing or winning your division to some extent? I know you're still going to get in if you win your division, but, I mean, it's got to disincentivize it a little bit.
Yeah, but you know what it also does? That means you can't take layups. At the end of the year, there's no – like you can't take
have a better
15 and 16 off. So if they propose that and they put that in play for the competition committee this year, that means this. When you say this, well, they may have that thing wrapped up. Well, you may have your division wrapped up, but you can't have layup. You can't just start laying games and laying eggs in games because you lose your seeding. They're saying to me with this new format that it looks like they want to look at seeding more important than winning a division.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. That's interesting. I'm not sure they're going to pass that. You think they're going to pass that?
I think what it does, though, I think Zander.
Yeah, Shady's right. Makes winning every game matter.
That's right. You
That's
can't. You
interesting.
don't have any. You can't take last year. What did the Eagles sit? The Eagles side everybody in the final game against the Giants, right? But you can't do that now.
Yeah, right.
If that gets passed, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think I do like it from that perspective. It adds more meaning to every single game. But I don't know. I do think there's got to be an emphasis on the division, as there has been. I don't know. I'm indifferent. If it goes that way, I won't like bitch about it. I'll be good with it. But as long as the Eagles keep winning, they'll get in. But
hey, like I said, though, man, you might be a better team, though, Zander. Okay, and say you.
Who would we have played in round one? Last year we played the Packers round one. This year we would have played the Rams round one. Or no, with the new format. With the new format.
With the new format, you would play the Rams.
We would have played the Rams instead of the Packers.
And the Vikings would have played the Bucks.
I hope we play the Packers every year in the playoffs. That team's going to shit the bed. They had one big playoff win versus the Cowboys, and then they're still living on
the Commanders playing the Lions. The Commanders would be playing the Packers. And that's an easier road.
Right.
To me, it just looks at that 4-hole is easier to get to the division, to the NFC title game if you're in that 4-hole. Like if you're in the middle of the group and not because if you're at the top, are you trying to tell me that if you play in a really tight division like the NFC North, say you play in the NFC North and that thing is nip and tuck and the team has 11 wins.
Right.
You got 4 teams with 10 plus wins in that, and it only was determined by 1. You mean to tell me I got to play a better team from a better division because there were better teams in it? And the Buccaneers, this is why I say the Bucs are going to have a good year. They play the toughest schedule. So the Bucs should get the Bucs, because they won more games in a shittier division, get a top seed over a team from the East or the North?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. I'm kind of with Twiz too. I mean, always trying to fix something. Just leave the game alone, man.
Yeah.
Why do we got to change everything all the time? I'm with you, Twiz, on that part of it. Shit.
Hey, I agree with John on this one. I don't think they're going to get rid of the tush push. I just think you're not going to be able to push or use players to help.
Yeah, like just reword it. That is getting rid of the tush push.
It is.
They're not going to come out and say we're getting rid of the tush push. They're going to say we've been pushing in our league.
You know the leverage play that you have where you can't jump over somebody to block a field goal?
Yeah, right.
You're going to have a rule put something like that in where you can't have players assisting players from behind like you have Goddard pushing Hurts and all that. I think they're going to outlaw that, and I think they're going to stop the scrum. I think they're going to have a quicker whistle. So like you don't get like, everyone's just pushing the pile. Because to me, I think it's the pushing of the pile that gets the first down more so than anything else because they have the meat and they have the best O-line. All right, let me ask you some of these questions. So I asked you one of them already about Dallas Goedert. Who takes the leadership role of Brandon Graham on this Eagle team coming into this year?
It's a great question, man. It's a big ask for Nolan Smith, but don't you see a lot of similarities in their personalities? And I'm not insinuating that Nolan Smith is ready to be the type of leader that Brandon Graham is. I do see a lot of similarities in their personalities. You'd be surprised to hear this, but John tells me that Jordan Davis is a big leader in that defensive line room. Now, I don't know if that means he is on the full defense. My big gripe with Dan Sileo is if you're going to be a leader, you got to be on the field, don't you? How do you lead from the bench? I just don't know how that works that well. So it's a definitely an uphill thing to find someone with, that was Brandon Graham's caliber of leader. He was one of the best leaders we've had in a long time. Mr. Eagle himself. I don't know if you're going to replace him, Sills. I don't think you're going to replace that leadership.
I asked Clint Hurt what kind of locker room setup it's in that room. He says it's circular. And he goes, that's by design with Sirianni. And I go, that's a great call by him.
Circular? What do you mean by circular?
Okay, like you're all looking at each other in the face.
Oh yeah. It's definitely like that. But I've heard there's clicks in the locker room for sure.
Yeah, but you're looking at one another in the face. I don't like sharp corners in locker rooms because that means you can hide. I want to see everyone's face. He said that the best leader in that locker room is Jordan Mailata.
I could see that.
He says he takes no shit. He says exactly what's on his mind. The players both sides of the ball gravitate to him. You know what he does with Nolan Smith and all those other guys? He goes across the way and helps those guys saying, This is what gives me trouble. This is what offensive linemen are looking at, especially when you're lining up wide like this. And so he's out there. Lane does the same shit too. I get it. But Lane's kind of weird. And you know who else is weird? It's Hurts. I'm not questioning his work ethic. I'm not questioning his winning. It's just you and me have both said, there's like he's got like spots in his leadership where you go, I don't know, man. Come on.
Yeah,
really?
right.
And I'm just saying, some guys lead differently, man. Some guys just do. When I look at a guy like Mailata in that building, I like Jordan Mailata. Jordan Mailata, I would gravitate to as my leader in that room because
I can see that.
And I'm not saying Jalen doesn't come off genuine. Barkley too. Like the guys I like as leaders in that room would be Mailata and Barkley. That makes sense?
Yeah. Barkley, Hurts to me. I think Hurts is a leader. Hurts is a different kind of leader. Like I don't just like what you said that he's not your style of leader. Everybody can have their own styles of leader, but I do think Jalen does lead. It's just a different way. It is. I think it's a different way. I think he's more of a calm, cool, collected type of leader. I'd rather show you than tell you. And I think that, he's still a leader in that room for sure. Anytime you're making $50 million, anytime you win Super Bowl MVP, I think you have the ear of people around you. But I don't disagree. Saquon's definitely vocal. I mean, you can hear it. I'm not sure if you watch the mic'd ups that they put out all year, but Saquon's a very vocal guy on the sideline for sure.
All right, so let me throw this at you now. Can Kevin Patullo keep the running game on the rails?
Is it fixed for him? I mean, he's got the best offensive line in football and one of the best running backs in football. It's like, how can he mess that thing up?
Well, they did in 23. Had the same old line. I'm not saying
It didn't have Saquon, but
I get it. But they still had a 1,200-yard runner.
Yeah, I hear you.
Guy got an $8 million deal in Chicago.
Yeah, but those guys didn't have gravitas. I mean, you just mentioned Saquon as a leader. The gravitas of Saquon is enormous. You know,
but bro, you've had an all-pro running back 3 straight years with 3 different dudes.
Right. No, I hear you.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, they're still. You're not selling me that those guys are Saquon Barkley or anything.
I'm trying to tell you that their mentality. No, I'm selling you a mentality here because that's what they do. They run the ball. Do you think he stays on the rails?
Yeah, I do.
I proposed adding actually more RPOs so that Hurts can be more involved in the run game.
Nah, I don't know if we want that.
Well, what? Dude,
that's going to slow him down on the other stuff.
Man, I don't. Hey, I had a guy tweet in here or post in here. He goes like this. He said, "Seals, you said that Hurts is not very good in the pocket." I go, "Well, he's still learning." I mean, I've never heard in my entire life that a guy a year ago had never learned how to set protections until last year. And so you're telling me 5 years in the league, 4 years as a starter, this is the first time you've ever done that?
Right.
You want to know why he takes sacks? You want to know why? He's still learning how to read defenses. Can you imagine the number one thing that helps you set up and how you read a defense is identifying where pressure's coming from? Do you know for him to win, and I'm not ripping him, I'm giving him kudos here, and I'll tell you why. For him to have won, not knowing where pressure's coming from is pretty remarkable.
No, you're right. But I mean, that's part of that's being drafted into a great organization. Now, I always said, we always talked about this when Kelsey was calling the protections. How is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, it was good in the moment, but I don't know if overall it was good for Hurts' development. But yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying with it, but I think Jalen's taken a bunch more steps forward. I think Patullo's has a much bigger role in the passing game. Like, he's been here enough years. Remember this as well. Jeff Stoutland's the run game coordinator. He hasn't been anywhere. All right, so he hasn't gone anywhere. He's been here for a long time. So I think you're in a good spot with the running game. That's the least of my worries this year. I think it's more passing.
You just said something interesting. So if Jeff Stoutland is the head of the run game, what exactly did Kellen Moore do last year?
Leave it to Sileo, though.
Leave
it to Big Sills, though.
Hold on. Who handles the run game?
Well, Stoutland is the run game coordinator.
Okay, well, then what did Kellen Moore do last year? If I'm asking a question about Nick, what was your job? Hey, turn and hand to Barkley? That's like Phil Jackson's job. Hey, Mike, turn and shoot. I mean, what are we?
Yeah, but you said the same thing about Nick. Now are you having?
No, I'm asking a question. What was Kellen Moore's job? If Jeff Stoutland runs the run.
He doesn't
game.
call the plays. Jeff Stoutland doesn't call the plays. He's a coordinator in the run game. So he's,
What's that mean exactly? He's the coordinator of the run game.
I don't know. He's the run game. What's it called? Run game.
Hey, Kellen, why don't you try this one? Is that what
No, how about on a Wednesday when they're putting a game plan together and they say, hey, we got Jordan Mailata. Hey, we got Landon Dickerson. We got Mekhi Becton. Let's pull Mekhi Becton around and run him up the left side. Come on, Sileo. Don't play stupid with me, Sileo.
Look at him just reeling in all of the good takes over here with this, trying to make everybody look lovely and happy. I asked the question. What the fuck was the guy's job? If that guy runs the run game, this guy runs the pass game, Kelly got a job in New Orleans. I'm like, how did that happen? I don't know. I got to figure it out here. Again, keeping it on the rails. All right, got another one for you.
Let me plug this computer in so I don't die.
But on to me, man. Can't even ask a simple question. Yeah, just see this. Even Chip who hates me.
Kip doesn't hate you.
I mean, what did Kellen do?
I don't know. He's a head coach.
I got it. Oh, yeah, I know. But the run coordinator, Stoutland.
Well, you're the one who always tells me, oh, how did all these guys get hired? Everybody got pay raises on offense. Kellen got a pay raise. He got a promotion.
I got it. I mean,
thanks to the greatness of Jalen Hurts. By the way,
actually, thanks to the greatness of Saquon Barkley, he got
no. I heard you talking about Saquon being a star earlier. And
he is. He's on the cover of Madden.
I'm like, man, that's the second player now that's come to play with Jalen Hurts that turned into a superstar. Saquon Barkley wasn't a superstar in New York.
Jalen Hurts did not make him a superstar.
Jalen's team.
Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata
and Jalen team.
Hey, that's right. You know who made me a star? A guy who throws the ball 4 times a game.
Saquon joined Jalen's team. Same thing with A.J. Brown. The guy was the top 30 in the league in
Gravy Train 2024 off the back of Barkley.
You keep saying Gravy Train, yet everybody keeps getting accolades when they play next to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that's right. Accolades, everybody. Yeah, he's such incredible player.
A.J. Brown was second-team All-Pro last year.
Second team All-Pro. Can you imagine if that guy had a decent passer? Can you imagine if he had a decent passer?
No. Hurts is a decent passer. He's not a volume passer.
Oh, I forgot. Wait, what's the line Philly 500 gets upset with? When you bring them out of the box is when we need them. We don't really need them.
So you don't complete 69% of your passes in the NFL with 104 ratings. If you can't be a decent passer.
When I throw 6 passes a game,
no.
Joe Burrow, who throws 56 a game, and he has a higher percentage.
And he won 6 ball games.
A guy who throws the ball 4 times a game is in the same conversation because he has the same pass completion number as a guy who throws the ball 700 times versus a guy who has 300 attempts. It's the same. Come on, man.
You're the beauty pageant quarterback lover. That's what you like. You like beauty pageant.
You're
in it for the beauty pageant.
The reason that I am is because that's how NFL players get paid.
Yeah, but that's not how the Eagles win Super Bowls.
Okay. That's right. They win them with
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Really high. Like when you put the list of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in pro football history, I wonder where Nick Foles and Jalen Hurts' name will be.
So do you value stats more than you value Super Bowl wins?
No, I value being paid and where you are as a player because it's called professional football. Like being a professional tile liar or a guy who puts bricks down or a guy who builds buildings. People get paid for that.
So you're something else. I'll tell you what. Now you care more about the paycheck and the stats than you do about winning the football game. Come on, Sileo.
Look at this. This guy thinks you get pat on the backs here, go like this. Hey, good old college try. You're doing it for the team. No, I'm doing it for my $25 million that I'm made.
Wait a second. Can I ask you something? Why do you always chirp at A.J. Brown then for wanting the ball if your entire premise is that
I like chirping at A.J. Brown. I got
The
another
only,
one
the only valid response to that question was what you just said.
because I like chirping at him. Here, will we ever see the best of Jordan Davis?
Yes. He's coming. Remember, I understand that it's been Sills. You have to point to there's other instances of this. It took Brandon Graham 4 or 5 years. Now, I'm not saying you got to give him the same leeway. I'm just saying it's not out of the realm of possibility for this player to get to the next level. This is my question on Jordan Davis. All right. It's what does Vic want of him? Because me and you and many people in the chat have aspirations for Jordan Davis to become an every down defensive tackle. All right. That's what we want. We'd like to see him rush the passer a little bit more, become more versatile and willing to be able to play every down football. Do they even want that? Are they even going to ever give him that opportunity? Or do they just want him to operate inside that sandbox of being a run stopper, being great at it, and improving in that area? Because I can't answer this question without knowing that. And we're never going to know that until we see what Vic's goal for him on the field is. So if they want him to be better or want him to be more versatile, I think it's going to be boom or bust. And the other thing I think will tell you this is if they let him walk. If they let him walk, then, then he didn't do what they wanted him to do. If they sign him and they don't give him any more snaps, it's very clear all they ever wanted for him, or at least at this point, was to develop into a better run stopper, the best run stopper he can be.
So everything that you just said makes me answer this way to that. Well, he didn't quite live up to what we thought he was going to do. So what we'll do is we'll make a role for him on our team that we think he can excel at. Is that right?
Yeah, I think eventually we got to flush that he was taken 13 overall. Because you're right. For a 13 overall pick, it was very, very underwhelming. And that's putting it mildly and being nice about it. But
no, they just did give him 11-2. I mean, it can't feel that bad about
cheap him. Though, bro. Milton Williams just made 30.
I got it. But still, if we think in this way, that's still a decent. Hey, bro, I mean, he got a nice pay raise there doing that with that extent, with that
13th overall pick, underwhelming. 11-2, best run stopper in football. I like it.
All right, here's another question here.
Do you agree with that or no? Because that's cheap compared to Milton. By the way, did you see Vrabel's already calling out Milton?
I saw it.
Yeah, good. I'm happy. Milton had a good response too. That's what I love about Milton.
Well, it's easy to call somebody out when you're in helmets and shorts. I mean, you're not playing anybody and you're not even in full gear, but he's letting him know what his expectations.
Yeah, you're setting the culture
Mike
here,
Vrabel.
bro.
I love Mike Vrabel. You know what, dude? I'd like Mike Vrabel as the head coach of the Eagles. I mean, I like that. I like that guy.
Dude, we got a coach here in Philly that's been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years.
Oh, Big Dom.
Big Dom? Mike Vrabel in Philly.
Big Dom would have that. If Big Tom was the head coach of the Eagles, he'd have the same record as Nick.
We don't need Mike Vrabel. We got the greatness of Nick Sirianni.
Where the hell's his contract?
I don't know. I brought that up to John today. Even John didn't know. Even John was like, humming. I don't know.
I bet you they do it the first week of training camp. I bet
that's late, but probably.
Yeah, not really. I mean, look, if you're comfortable with who you are and you're both all good, I mean, my question is, it's not whether they're going to do it. They're going to do it. I want to see how much they do it. I mean, I want to see where they're going here with that. All right, so just Big Sills asking questions. It's what I do. It's what
just Big Sills. It's just a football Friday with Big Sills. I love it.
It's a couple questions here. So who's that second corner going to be? So let me go back to the wonderful names everybody in the chat name. Hold on here. I got to bring these names up here so actually I'll tie it in. So to go and get a corner spot starter, safety starter, backup safety, and a backup corner, here are the names you're going to pick from. Keely Ringo, Eli Rick, excuse me, and Adoree Jackson, Sidney Brown. I don't know Makuba yet. I haven't seen him play. Put him in there. I don't know anything about him yet at the NFL level. Tristan McCullum and Lewis Klein. These are the dudes you have to have a starting safety, a starting corner, a swing corner, and another safety. Eli Ricks, Keely Ringo. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Dory Jackson, Sidney Brown, Tristan McCullum, and Lewis Klein. How do you feel about that group battling for a starter's role with safety and corner and 2 backup roles? How do you feel about that group?
I feel pretty good about it. I mean, it's not great. It's not great. Keely Ringo, Sileo.
Oh
What
my
if they,
God.
wait. What if they brought in Justin Simmons? How would you feel?
I would feel that they didn't like anybody in the building. Or wait, I'll back that up. I'll back that up. That they feel maybe because, and it wouldn't be fair to me to say that they're maybe not ready yet. If you bring in a guy like Simmons, by the way, you know why? The longer you wait, Howie's doing the same shit he did to Goddard. I know you want to play here, son. I know you want to play. Yeah, I want $7 million. No, we're not there. Okay, I'll do it for 5.
Wait, who are you talking about right now?
Justin Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
They're working him down.
Justin Simmons would be lucky to get $5 million. His best football is behind. That's what I mean. All these people talking about Justin Simmons.
Hey, Slay got 10.5.
I know. Slay was good when he was on the field, though.
Yeah, he was.
Now, he wasn't on the field all that much, which is another problem in and of itself. But, at least he was good when he was out there.
Hit the like button, guys. One last one here.
All right, let's do it.
You think Howie's got another trade left in him?
I was wondering this, man. I saw something floated online about Chris Olave. I'm like, I don't know about him. But it just made me think about that question, what you just asked me. Like, is Howie looking, to maybe make a trade here late in the year? He's done it in the past. Remember last year he traded for Dotson, traded for Bradbury. He's done many of these trades late in the year, even all the way up through training camp. He'll do it if he feels like. Sometimes that's what they need, Sills, is they go out in training camp and they're like, yeah, those guys aren't ready yet, So maybe I'd put it at about a 51% chance. How's that? Right over 50.
For what position?
I think secondary.
Corner or safety? What do you think?
I think you'd only check one off. In other words, I don't think you trade for both. But if you feel better about Makuba and not so much Ringo, you go corner. If you feel okay about Ringo, but you want to give him some extra support and you're not sure that Makuba is going to be ready yet, then you go safety. And that's where I feel like Simmons could come in.
Here's the one thing, though, that I'll say, and I'll ask you one last time this question. They're never going to move Cooper DeJean to corner.
They have to.
Why?
Because he's going to be a beast.
You have an open right now, bro.
Cooper DeJean that corner would give us the best tandem of cornerbacks in the NFL.
Why won't they do that then?
Because they put him in the slot.
That's not an answer, Zander. Xander, if you're telling me you would have the best corners in the NFL and you have the best 2 D tackles combined when you're talking about run stopping, well, what are we doing here? If I've got 2 lockdown corners or 2 safety corners that play, 2 corners that play in 2 high that can do a job for the next 10 years, why aren't you moving them now? Look, Keely Ringo and Eli Ricks is not moving my needle. You're never going to be in a better position right now because I'll tell you this, if you were going to draft next year a position for the Eagles, what would it be? It'd be corner.
Corner, defensive line, offensive line. Probably not offensive line, though.
You got a bigger need at corner.
I'll tell you what else I'm drafting next year. A wide receiver.
Whoa, wait a minute. You starting that thing getting –
No, I know. It's not a slight on any player. I think that's business. That's business. You got Jahan Dotson on with 1 year left on his deal. Now that's why I think maybe a potential trade could happen there if Howie's like, I'm not picking up they already didn't pick up the option. I don't want him longer. So maybe we can get another younger guy on 2 years with 2 years left. Maybe. I don't see it. But Sills, what does life look like in 2 years from now for Philly?
Okay, the moment
I think it's fair to wonder if all the receivers will be here.
though, if you draft a wide receiver, you can start Chernobyl meltdown #1 as long as AJ's on that team. That he knows that it's him. They're not getting rid of Devontae, bro. He cut that deal so he could be here for a career. That's a career contract.
I agree.
AJ's contract is like a micro contract. Devontae said, "No, I'm going to be here 7 years from now, 5, 6 years from now."
Well, they better treat him like that because Devontae Smith gave him a major haircut.
Yeah, because he wants to be here for the next 6 years.
I love Smitty. I hope Smitty's here forever. Yeah, I love Smitty.
Proved me way wrong. He was so good. Let's take a look at some of these supers. We got Jason Cole around the corner here.
Let's do it. Cowboys run the chuck and duck offense from Kyle.
Hey, Kyle, I swear to God, I looked at I think there's anywhere from 7 wins to 9 wins. I mean, unless something dramatically happens, I don't know. I just don't see it, man. They can't stop the run. They can't run the ball. They're gonna have to prove to me they can do that. And I even think a team like Green Bay would wax them.
Kyle, thank you, bro. Kimbo's checks in. Boomer is spot on. Caleb's last season at USC was sloppy. Yes, he was.
And then he jumped in the stands and kissed his dad crying and all that shit. I'm like, come on, son. I mean, we
should have known this fruit cup was going to have some issues.
Any guy who paints his fingernails pink and cries to his dad in the sideline, I think there's an issue there.
Prince Swayze says, "Say Bumbaclot one time for me, please." What the heck does Bumbaclot mean?
Got with Prince? I mean, he had such a strong 4 days. And then it's Jalen Hurts can't play 5 games in a row.
Bumbaclot.
You can't do 5 days in a row. You're meat right now.
What does Bumbaclot mean? What is that?
How about dumb shit? I mean, I know what that means, princess. Holy
Bumbaclot. I don't know
Google
what that
it.
means.
You know what? Look at this guy. Google it. I'm going to pass on that.
I'll AI it. I'll have to put it into AI and see.
Hey, Prince, you know what kumquat is? It's a fruit. It's a fruit.
Says, super chat for the hat. It's Bucket Hat Friday, everybody. And I broke out a banger. Boom. Twiz says, you said you bent the knee for Sirianni. Now you're back to being disrespectful. Sills, I can't keep with all the shit you backpedal with.
a Twizwa. What did you said you bent the knee for Sirianni? When did I ever say I bent the knee for Sirianni? I think he's a joke.
Twiz hit you with the Bumbaclot.
Big Dom would have a better record. And by the way, I've never seen a coach have to have a behavioral science guy stand next to him on the sidelines so he doesn't start talking shit to the fans.
Twiz hit you with that Bumbaclot take.
Who's Twiz? Again, another guy. Who's Twiz?
Prince says I can't breathe. He was crying, laughing so hard.
That. Yeah, that's a mean one there. See, Prince, you can have Prince 3 L's.
Martin says Prince definitely failed English class. You mean Prince or Sileo?
I didn't go to English.
You and me both, brother. You and me both.
Somebody took it for me.
It's amazing me and you end up on this screen. I don't know how that happened.
Well, no. Let me. One thing on what you'll love this. Did I ever tell you how I passed and got it like a degree in college?
No, I'd love to hear it though.
Okay.
Because I wasn't able to do it. So I'll live through you here for a second.
Okay, so check it out. So I got my BA this way. So I had to take statistics. I couldn't pass it. I took it for 4 freaking years, and I failed. I even went to the freaking thing. Usually, I take these tiered classes where I show up at the syllabus, the blue book, and I'm out. I don't have to worry about that shit, right? So, but I went there. Every teacher calls me. I needed this to pass. So the guy goes, "All right, come see me over at my house." I said, "Yeah, it's at my ranch outside there in Miami." And I went like this. He goes, "Where's shorts?" I went, "Listen here, man, I'm not doing anything dumb here." So this guy comes at me here, and I think he was, I don't know, whatever. So he starts walking towards me, and he goes, I said, "Look at here, man. I really need this grade to play in the Fiesta Bowl." I go like this, but I'm not doing anything stupid. He goes, "Shut the hell up, you asshole. I want you to paint my fence." This guy had a fence that he had 3 horses, And I had to pay, so I paint the outside of it. He goes, no, you paint the inside. I'm like, yeah, shit. I had paint all over me, showing up to practice. Everyone's laughing there. So I painted a guy's fence to pass statistics. So hey.
Listen, you got to do what you got to do, Big Sills. All right.
Hey, I could not pass that son.
No judgment from me, brother. You know what happened to me is I went to college. I had a great first semester. Everything was all fine and dandy. I was, working hard. I had a great GPA. And then I had something happen with my ankle where I had 2 surgeries over Christmas break. After that, done. I never got to class. I was on that wheelie thing. I went back. I bombed the semester, and then I ultimately never ended up getting to the finish line.
Oh man, I'll tell you, my first year at Maryland, I didn't know grade point averages could go that low. Hey, dude, I showed up at one of the classes. You know that thing you had in there in the books where, it showed you where you could buy more books. Man, the teacher opened the book. Have you ever opened this up? I went, nope. That thing fell out that you get with new books. He's like, this. Yeah. I'm going like, yeah. Oh man, my first year was, oh man, I never.
There's a stark contrast here between me and you, and then the scholarly John McMullen, and then the scholarly Jason Cole that we have coming up next.
Or listening to Jeff Kerr talk too. Oh,
he's a Penn
fake drafts.
He's a Penn Stater. He's not. You can't give him that.
You don't count. He went to Penn State. You don't count that.
I don't know where John went. That's a good question. I got to ask John where the heck he went to school.
Who?
John. No clue where he went. Maybe he didn't go. I'm not sure.
I don't know, man. Who cares?
Hollywood says, then I saw the Bama girls. LOL.
Hey,
Hogan, I saw them from the start. You kidding me?
Let me tell you this. When we went down to Auburn and played Auburn down there at Jordan Hare, and these chicks come walking out of them, I was like this.
Yeah, there's some honeys at Auburn, man.
Man, I'll tell you.
My girlfriend's here. I can't be talking about honeys right now. Come on, man.
Hey, them Auburn girls, man. I'll tell you what, I'd kill the War Eagle too.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. All right. No comment, but Sills is not wrong. All right.
Even them Gator chicks, they're all right. They're good, but the only thing they have. So are we good?
I think we're
Are
good.
We good?
I think we're pretty good. Wait. Devin says, I stand on Nick. Best asset is getting coffee. Oh, Devin.
Yeah.
Your silly eyes, Devin.
Hey, Devin, and cream.
You are silly eyes.
2 creams, 2 sugars. Hey, Nick, do me a favor. Go park some cars out back.
Wait a second, Sileo.
Bro.
This guy goes to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, and you can't give him a smidge of respect?
George Seifert. He's George Seifert. By the way, Seifert won.
Wait. So that must mean that he's got a really good quarterback, right? Who's taking him, who's handling everything.
So you think Jalen Hurts is Steve Young? Joe Montana. Okay.
I think Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts, man. What Prince? I didn't miss your stupid bumbleclot super chat, Prince. You just weren't here for it, Prince. Yo, Prince, watch the show. Come on, Prince. Man, we just did this stupid bumbleclot. Bumbleclot.
Hey, Prince, he gave you so many good kudos this week on Good Takes. Your Friday, you have shit the bed worse than anybody in here I've seen in a long time.
No, you did.
Massive L.
Did you see the other day when Prince tried to come at McMullen and McMullen put him in a blender and Prince just said, all right, I'm done. I'm not going to chirp anymore. That's it. McMullen chewed him up and spit him out.
That's great. All right, Zander. Great stuff as always, my friend. What do you got planned this weekend, Junior?
I got to do that. I got to get this house together because they're renting it out. So they sent me down, you got to do the lawn and everything down in the beautiful Cape May. This is the greatest place on earth. I fully believe that this is.
You get to stay the weekend though there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because my grandmother bought this house in 1978 for $68,000. My grandfather, who was an Italian immigrant, his parents were right off the boat from Italy. He liquidated every credit card he had to buy this home that I sit in today, and we still have it in our family.
Let me tell you what my grandpa did. So my grandpa bought this house on Silverno Road down in Chapin in Connecticut. My aunt could probably help me out a little more here. My pop bought it for 15 grand. Bro, they sold that house north of like $600,000.
It's crazy, the property value.
$50,000.
The property value on this is insane. I see Sue saying the taxes. See, here's a caveat. Sue, ready? This is a Victorian home that I'm in, Cape May Victorian, which means it's protected by all of those laws. So the property taxes today are still what they were 30 years ago. So they're very cheap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Now, if we sold
I thought Jersey was expensive.
Oh, Jersey's insane. Insane. The property taxes in New Jersey are ridiculous. But because it hasn't been sold in 40 years. So if we resold it, I think they would reassess it. But yeah, they're still really cheap, man. So man, we don't have crazy Jersey taxes either.
Oh my God, Fairfield. Hey, dude, you want to hear something? Where I grew up, believe it or not, Fairfield County, it's one of the richest places in the United States to live. And my folks, I mean, my folks live down in Chapin. They lived there their whole lives. And I'm just saying, man, Stanford has become it's like the sixth. Get this, Stanford, Connecticut, Zander, is the sixth biggest corporate headquarters in the country. I mean,
wow, it's big.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely insane here, man.
Look at Bob. He says, with all that money you save on taxes, buy a new hat and send that pineapple to Bikini Bottom.
I like that hat.
Yo, Bob, you wish you could rock this hat, Bob. You wish you could rock this hat. Same thing. Ready? Let's see what this guy says. Yale nailed the head. Yale hit the nail on the head, as he always does. Ready? He says,
Yale's been missing here for a little bit.
I know. We got him back. He says, home requires a lot of attention. That is the caveat, right? I told you this is a Victorian. The taxes are good. Everything is all good. This sucker requires a lot of work, this home. But we love it, man. It's a blessing, this house.
Let me show this thing. Sills, name me one team who still has their entire D. Bro, I'm not talking about another team. I'm talking about the number one defense in the league. Do you understand when you lose something, Jalen? When you lose something, and it's the best, compared to losing something when you're dog shit. You think there's two different things? Like if the Jets lose somebody, I don't know. Not going to really work you there. If the Eagles lose 4 people, that's not going to matter.
You didn't read his whole comment.
We still have our entire
main core. We still have our entire offense.
Entire offense, which of course you didn't use last year because.
What are you talking about? We had the most historic running season in the history of the NFL.
You didn't use your offense last year to its fullest because you didn't have to. Oh, wait, I forgot. Philly 500 gets pissed at that.
Yo, Prince, what does bumbo clot mean? All right, I don't know what that means, but you got me saying it now. I like the word. It's a good word.
Something.
Look at Philly 500 in the building. What up, 500?
500's in the building?
500's in the building.
500. Wait a minute. Here's 500. 500 goes. We didn't really need to use Jalen Hurts.
No, 500 hit the nail on the head. You like prom queen quarterbacks. You don't like winners. You like prom queen.
No. I like people who get paid.
You like Jalen Hurts is a top paid quarterback. What are you talking about? You like
prom
queen. You like passing stats.
That's how you get paid.
You like prom queen.
That's how you get. It's called professional football.
Give me the winner.
Let me say this.
Give me the winner.
If you took Jalen Hurts off that team, you'd still win 11 games.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
We were 0-1 last year, and he missed 3 quarters.
If I put Brock Purdy on that team, you'd win 11 games.
The only game we lost last year was when Hurts went down in the first quarter.
11 games. I'll tell you this. A.J. Brown would be happy. I've never seen a passing game in my life where you look like the Army midshipman.
Oh, BS.
I mean,
I'm out of here. Let me get out of here before Jason Cole gets here. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. I'm feeling a little bit of that. You know that word or that line that Howard Eskin always uses, Sills? He goes, I never had a bad day. All right? That's what I'm feeling right now. I've never had a bad day in my life. So
yeah. Let me see here. Where is Jason here, man?
I don't know. I sent him the email a little bit ago.
Good. Okay. Yeah.
R. Anthony says it's a Jamaican term for a corny, dumb person. So Prince is a bumbo clat.
God, he sucks.
And Sileo is a bumbo clat.
Bumbo clat. Sounds like he's saying something nasty to me. All right, Zander, I appreciate you, Junior.
Hey, bro. I appreciate everybody. Hit that like button for the greatness of Big Sills. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it very much here, guys. Make sure you please hit that like button for us. Jason Cole's going to be right around the corner with us. Let's see here. Prince, man, I mean, let me see here. Hold on here. Let's see here. What'd you say, Prince? Sills loves Herbert until the playoffs. Dude, I got to tell you one more time. That dude is not in Justin Herbert's league as a player. He's not the player Justin Herbert is. Everyone knows it. I mean, the face of Madden is not Jalen Hurts. The face of Madden is Saquon Barkley. Hey, 500. Barkley is the star of that offense. Not building a run game around the quarterback. Building a run game around the greatness of Saquon Barkley. Let's see here. Sills, you played DT in a 43 at the U, and you're asked to move the nose tackle. Davis played DT